Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. As summer nears its end, more arts and entertainment venues are ending their seasons. On this episode, I'll be discussing some concerts at Barrington Stage Company and Berkshire Theater Group, how a local movie cinema may be saved soon, and more. Plus, there's a special segment I'll be getting to very shortly. First, it's time for this episode's trivia question. This episode's question is, what school in Pittsfield, Maine, has produced several basketball players who have made the NBA? This episode, we're going to be starting things off a little bit differently. For this first segment, I'm going to be dedicating this next piece to my family in Baileyville, Maine, and Calais, Maine, as well as my grandfather. This story is going to be talking about the history of Pittsfield, but not the one in Berkshire County. Instead, I'll be doing a history of Pittsfield, Maine. For my family, it is located about 130 miles from Baileyville in Calais, Maine, and for WWHEN viewers, 5 hours and 8 minutes from the Pittsfield in Berkshire County. The first permanent settler, Moses Martin, established a home in Pittsfield in 1795, just a mile downriver from the present Edwards Power Plant, a current business there. He brought with him from the older settlement of Norridswalk his wife, Anna Parker, 2 boys, and 2 girls. He was a skilled woodsman, hunter, trapper, and fisher, and was well liked by the Indians, quote, for he was superior to them where they excelled most, end quote. The area was part of the Kennebunk Purchase. First called Plymouth Gore, it was settled in 1794. In 1815, the town was organized as the Plantation of Sebasticook, but was incorporated on June 18, 1819, as Warsaw, after Warsaw, Poland. In 1824, the name was changed to Pittsfield after William Pitts of Boston, not to be confused with William Pitt, Revolutionary War leader, that Pittsfield, Massachusetts was named after. Pittsfield, Maine, was noted for fine orchards and became an agricultural trade center. Water power from the Sebasticook River attracted industry, and a grist mill and sawmill were built at the falls. Blacksmith shops and a carriage shop were established. In 1855, the Penobscot and Kennebunk Railroad arrived, and Pittsfield developed into a small mill town. In 1869, the first woolen mill was established. Like Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Maine's Pittsfield was also known for its wool industry. The Riverside Woolen Company was the first mill in the state of Maine to sell cloth directly from loom to weaver. Fire destroyed the downtown building in 1881, but it was soon rebuilt. Woodworking plants and a canning factory were established. The Waverly Woolen Mill was built in 1891 and 1892, together with 52 dwellings the company rented to workers. Pittsfield, Maine was also home to the Sebasticook and Pioneer Woolen Mills. Unfortunately, the woolen industry was moving from New England to the South by the 20th century. It was announced in 1953 that the American Woolen Company would close the Pioneer Mill. With help from the Kiwanis Club, a development corporation was founded, and $53,000 was donated by 477 people in January of 1954. An agreement was secured with American Woolen that while they would not operate a woolen mill in Pittsfield, Maine, they would sell their interests in the mill to the Pittsfield Improvement Association and loan funds to construct a 48,000 square foot manufacturing building, cost estimated at $300,000. The Edwards Company of Norwalk, Connecticut, became interested in the use of such a building as a result of contacts made by the Bartlett Graham of the Maine Development Commission. They were ready to expand and were enticed by the idea they could help design a building financed by others. So instead of wool, they created doorbells. In December 1956, the first doorbells came off the line in Pittsfield, Maine. The story shows the aggressive spirit exhibited by Pittsfield's, Maine that is, business leaders, and the response that can result from such an effort. Pittsfield, Maine, also provides the answer to this episode's trivia question. As a reminder, this episode's question was, which school in Pittsfield, Maine, has produced several basketball players who have made the NBA? The answer is Maine Central Institute. Pittsfield, Maine is home to the Maine Central Institute, or MCI. MCI was founded in 1866 to prepare students for study at Bates College, which at the time was a seminary in Lewiston, Maine. Over the years, MCI has continually modified its curriculum to fulfill the academic needs of students pursuing post-secondary studies or vocational training. MCI is known for its great sports, especially its basketball team. For decades, the team was known as one of the best teams, not just in Maine, not just in New England, but in the entire country. Maine Central Institute's boys team was voted by USA Today magazine as the #1 basketball team in all of America in 1998, when they went undefeated. basketball alumni there include Eric Barkley, who is a McDonald's All-American, which is the highest honor a high school basketball player can achieve. Caron Butler, who won a championship with the Miami Heat. Sam Cassell, who won 2 championships with the Houston Rockets. And McDonald's All-Americans DeMar Johnson, Brad Miller, and Cuttino Mobley. I hope my family in Maine appreciated this story. Also, I hope my Berkshire County viewers enjoyed a little taste of WWHEN beyond Berkshire County. Now, for this episode's local headlines. Barrington Stage Company in Pittsfield will be hosting a series of concerts at Mr. Finn's Cabaret. This is a popular concert series that brings together some of Barrington Stage's artists and actors in residence to perform popular music and music from Broadway shows and Barrington Stage Company's most famous and recent productions. Currently, there are 4 artists set to perform. They are Lilas White on August 13th and 14th, Hugh Perano on August 21st, Jason Robert Brown on August 31st and September 1st, and Alan R. Green on September 2nd and 3rd. All of these concerts are set to start at 8 p.m. Visit Barrington Stage Company's website shown here for more information. Our next stop takes us to the Colonial Theater in Pittsfield, where they will be hosting an opera. La Boheme is one of the most famous operas today. When Rodolfo hears a knock at his door on Christmas Eve, opera's greatest love story is launched. Composer Puccini's soaring, aching melodies perfectly capture the emotion of every moment. From the exhilaration of young love at first sight to the story's unforgettable and heartbreaking conclusion, this unbridled passion of the ageless tale has made it a favorite of audiences for over a century. This is the opera that partially inspired the famed musical Rent, one of Broadway's most important works of the 1990s. The opera is set to run from August 26th through September 1st. Visit the website shown here for more information. Our next story takes us to Clark Art in Williamstown, where they will be hosting 2 exhibitions. The first is Human Ecology, 8 Positions. This features artists who explore the inseparability of the natural and social. Each represents a distinct approach or place or position, but all think in ecological terms, that is, about the complex relationship between living things and their environment. In doing so, they challenge ideas of nature as something separate from humans. They also center humans who have often been marginalized in the discussions of the environment. Through sculpture, video, sound installation, and paintings, These artists illuminate patterns of cultivation and care, migration and adaptation, extraction and exploitation that span historical, geographical, and species lines. This exhibition appears in both the Clark's Pavilion and the Lunder Center at Stone Hill, indoors and outdoors. This exhibit will be open until October. The other exhibit going on is Printed Renaissance, which has been mentioned here before on WWHEN. This exhibition brings together reproductive prints copied after celebrated Renaissance artists and printed books that discuss their lives and work, so as to understand the impact of printmaking on these artists' long-lasting reputation and reception. The objects on view show how print and book publishers from the 1500s on engaged with the Italian artistic tradition and how they actively contributed to the making of that tradition by publishing art criticism, reissuing historical prints, and commissioning new graphic reproductions. Gathered together, these works trace out the idea of Italian Renaissance art and its growing sense of historical development, which laid the early foundation for the viewing of art and discussion of art history in modern-day museums and universities. This exhibit will also be going on through October. Both of these exhibits are of no additional charge with your trip to the Clark Art. For more information on this and any other Clark Art exhibits, visit clarkart.edu. We are going to North Adams for our next story, and it is a massive one. Mass MOCA will be holding their popular Fresh Grass Blues Festival. Set against the foothills of the beautiful Berkshire Mountains, Fresh Grass North Adams is a family-friendly festival with the best in bluesgrass and roots music filling the fields, courtyards, and galleries of Mass MOCA, which is the largest contemporary art museum in the country, and gallery admission is included with all tickets. Along with world premieres, emerging artist competitions, farm fresh food, local brews, and pop-up jam sessions, this is 3 days of festival magic produced in partnership by Mass MOCA, the Fresh Grass Foundation, and No Depression. Among this year's bands include Dropkick Murphys Acoustic, who will be playing songs from their 2 albums with the lyrics of Woody Guthrie, plus acoustic arrangements of all the band's favorites. Lucas Nelson and POTR, Sierra Farrell, Rhiannon Giddens, The Devil Makes Three, Alfie O'Donovan, who will be premiering a Fresh Grass composition commission work, Allison Russell, Mighty Poplar featuring Norman Pikelny, Andrew Marlin, Chris Eldridge, Greg Garson, and so many more. Fresh Grass will be running from September 22nd through the 24th. Visit massmoca.org to purchase tickets, which are selling out fast. Our next story takes us to Lennox for Tanglewood. They are wrapping up their summer concert series with a performance from musician John Legend. The singer, best known for his song All of Me, certainly lives up to his last name. He is an EGOT award winner. That means he has an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. This is the highest achievement anyone in the entertainment industry can achieve, and is known for his love songs and social justice reform. This special solo performance will feature songs and stories with the 12-time Grammy winner. Experience intimate reimaginings of his greatest hits, including All of Me, but also songs such as Ordinary People and Tonight. Unexpected stories from Legend's life and career. And selections from his most recent release, Legend, such as Nervous and Wonder Woman. John Legend will be performing on September 3rd. Since tickets are expected to sell out fast, visit bso.org to purchase your tickets. This is a mobile ticket event only. This is clearly a sign for the times. Our next story takes us to Stockbridge, with some unfortunate news about a popular art gallery. Sands Galleries of Contemporary Art is closing down after 45 years of being in business. I've talked about this art museum in the past and how it features many different glass exhibits. However, it is gradually transitioning to a virtual gallery as a hybrid format for clients to consider art purchases by first experiencing it online, according to co-owner Jim Shantz. In a statement to the Berkshire Eagle, Shantz said, quote, "As we all get up there in age, the idea grows of being with our family more and being able to travel, maybe visit our artists. At some point, time became the issue, outweighing the aspect of running this day to day. We're ending on a high note, and we're still able to put in the time to doing it right. It's a soft landing. We feel good about it. It's the right time," end quote. The gallery has had 135 clients who bought 282 pieces of art since May 2022. And there's a current email blast list of about 11,000. The Shantz hope that someone else uses the museum for their own art gallery in the future. You can visit the website https://www.sandsgalleries.com for any additional information. Our next story takes us from something in Berkshire County that is closing to something that is remaining open. In March, a company that was planning on buying the Triplex Cinema in Great Barrington pulled out of the deal. But now, the town is fighting back. Movie showings at the Triplex Cinema will likely resume in late fall to give their new nonprofit ownership time to settle in and do some repairs at the movie theater. The theater is now owned by a nonprofit organization. So far, the group has raised about $650,000 and is trying to raise more to cover the $1 million purchase from Richard Stanley, who founded the Downtown Theater 28 years ago. The group also estimates it will need another $700,000 in the first year to make some additional upgrades. This is considered a relief because movie theaters in Berkshire County have sadly been closing, with Regal Cinemas in Lanesboro and the North Adams Movieplex shutting down within the past year. Hopefully, the Triplex Cinema will remain open for quite some time with the new ownership. It's now time for this episode's movie portion of WWHEN. We're going to be looking at a cult classic movie, one that didn't get a lot of attention when it was released, but is a hidden gem worth your time. 2013's You're Next. In this movie, a husband and wife are celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary. They have invited their family over for dinner. The family soon starts arguing and bickering, but then a bigger problem arises. They are a victim of a home invasion that turns violent. However strong the invaders are, they may soon be outmatched by one of the family members. So, what did I think of this movie, which is turning 10 years old this year? It can be a very violent and gory movie, which is fine if you have a high tolerance for gore. However, I do not, and I felt like the gore was a little too much at times. However, this movie is full of action. One of the best parts is its heroine of the story, Erin, portrayed by Sharni Venson. You know how in most horror movies, characters make dumb decisions? Erin makes smart decisions for the majority of the movie. She is definitely someone on your side when the apocalypse happens. The movie may have flopped in the theaters in 2013, but it is worth your time if you can handle the blood. That ends this episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHEN episode again, you can visit Pittsfield TV's and CTSB TV's websites shown here, or visit NBCTC's Facebook page. Also, if you would like to see the episodes in HD quality, make sure to check out my YouTube page at RT Wehry. Thank you.